My name is Chris Holton Jablonski, and it is my great joy and my deep honor to serve you as your minister. In the midst of all we are facing as a nation, it matters that we find joy. It matters that we source ourselves, that we care for our core, that we tend to what matters most, and we know what truly feeds us. My dog is in love with an armless sloth. I'm always amazed in a house full of stuffed animals that she knows which stuffies are hers, but sure enough, she does. A reindeer on Christmas Day captured her heart, and she played with it, carried it around, squeaked it nonstop, loved it until it gave up the ghost after weeks and weeks of solid play. And then my beloved wife, Lauren, brought home the sloth. And somehow our dog, Ella, knew that it was hers. She perked up immediately when it was brought out of the paper bag, sitting at attention, almost bursting out of her fur with excitement. And she loved this sloth with equal or greater love than she loved the reindeer. We too grow in love. Why not also the dog, I suppose? Her growing wiser, perhaps more skillful, having loved and lost, even with the loss so fresh. But the most remarkable thing about this love, and the reason that I mentioned to you today, is that the sloth had the most fascinating arms. It had these long, long arms with squeakers at the very ends. And she loved these arms, and she would play with them, dragging the sloth around by them, squeaking the squeakers, flinging the amiable beast around with the long arms held in her jaws, gentle enough not to destroy, but firm enough to hold. And one day, weeks into this new love, I found an arm in the hallway, and then another, and the somewhat sad-looking, armless sloth body. And I was sad for a moment. There has just been so much loss that sometimes even trivial things take on just too much weight. But in just a moment, Ella, my sweet dog, who has lived almost half of her life in the pandemic times, came bounding up, as eager and happy as ever to play with her squeakerless, armless sloth. She will snuggle it, chew on it, carry it around, ask for it to be thrown and then fetched. She will play with it with the same gusto and enthusiasm as she did before it lost its squeakers and arms. And I wanted to share this with you all today because it helps me to remember to find joy where we can, to savor these moments of joy. Even if they are busted up, armless, squeakerless versions of former joys, and perhaps especially then. It matters that we seek out joy, that we find it and take it like medicine, especially in these days and weeks and months ahead. I am so grateful for my children, for their near constant hunger for joy, for their reminders to me over and over to remember. Just yesterday, Aaliyah asked me to make a mural with me and her brothers. Let's draw what life was like before quarantine and what life will be like afterwards, she said in a moment of brilliance. She wanted us to draw camping, this last being her first overnight wilderness camping ever this last year, so we did. One of us drew our tents, another drew kids in sleeping bags bouncing off one another, a favorite pastime. One drew a fire and a huge stump near the campsite with 3 kids on top of it. I drew a huge fish 3 times larger than the human beings. Might have embellished there a little bit, on and on. And the picture and the memory and the moment there with them soothed me, soothed all of us. And perhaps it was an armless sloth stuffy of a moment, still with months to go in this strange new normal, still with so much unknown, but it was a moment of joy, a moment of peace, a moment of connection. And that is no small thing these days. And this is my wish for you all, for us all. With all that we are facing as a community, as a nation, to find moments, morsels, to gather them and build on them, to allow these moments and this joy to be the firm foundation upon which we build beloved community, upon which we work tirelessly in the face of violence, in the face of hatred, in the face of white supremacy and bigotry. We do the work of loving, the work of knowing who we most deeply and truly are, and offering up that love and that truth to the world as the blessing it is. And we come together over and over, and in so many ways we come together to remember, to reconnect, to replenish, to refresh, so that we can go back out into the world, reach up together, and with all our strength and all our love, with all our truth and beauty and vision and hope, to reach up and take hold of the moral arc of the universe and bend it toward love, bend it toward justice. So friends, find your armless sloths and love them with all your might. Feed yourselves on the freshest and most nourishing soul foods. Know that you are held, that you are loved. Know that we will get through this. Know that you are a blessing and a gift to the world. So much love to you all. Amen.